Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth and this is Best Bookish Reviews, and I am so glad to have you joining me today. I am working on my July TBR. I have fallen into a slump because I just haven't felt really like reading, I guess. But on the 9th, I picked up Alex North's The Man Made of Smoke, and it's a physical read, and I mean to finish it today. I was going to finish it last night, and my head was hurting too bad. I had a migraine, but I have this much left to go, and I'm going to finish it today. So, and I'm looking forward to reading, I'm sorry, I hit the stand. I have Stephen King's Never Flinch. I have Camilla Sten's The Bachelorette Party, and Riley Sager's With a Vengeance. So, what I have done, instead of spinning the wheel like I was going to, because I have it set up for prompts, free picks, 25 and 25, 52 books in 52 weeks, and my 50 before 50. I've went through and I've just found some books that I know are on the 52 and 52, the 50 before 50. I found some big books that I think I might want to read. There's one series that I have to find a book for. So bear with me while I find that book. Okay. I knew it was a frequently searched. Okay. Okay, let me get my mouse down here where I can. All right. Okay, I don't even know if I have that one. Let me check and see if I have this book, and I will be right back. I'm back. I had it. Okay, so, and I might get some of these read this month. They might not be till next month, but I also found a couple of book of the months that I want to read. I went in there and found some older book of the months I want to read, and next month is Jane Austen July. So let's start with that. All right, I'm not sure my 25 and 25 that I have out is going to work, but Katie from Books and Things hosts every year the Jane Austen July, and the prompts stay the same. So the first prompt is read one of Jane Austen's main 6 novels. This year the group read is Emma, and since Emma is my favorite Jane Austen July novel, you better believe I'm going to be participating in this group read. I love Emma. I've only read it once, but I loved it. I love the movies that are out. Now I haven't watched the I don't know who. It's the one that has the big star in it, and she has the bow and arrow, and I haven't watched that one. But anyway, yes, I am going to read Emma by Jane Austen. Emma is rich and beautiful and spoiled, and she likes to meddle in everybody's business. I guess I could put it over here so you can see it. I'm trying to hold my notebook. Because I have books everywhere on my desk. Okay. Now, Emma is one of my 50 before 50s. Even though I've read it before, I still want to reread it and annotate it, so that is why it's on there. And it is on there for flowers on the cover. But Emma, let me start over with Emma. Emma is rich and spoiled and beautiful. I don't know if you'd really call her spoiled, but anyway, she's used to getting what she wants. But she likes to meddle in other people's affairs, and so she decides that she wants to set people up for, together, to hook them up. And she's like a dating app in today's language. And so she tries to marry her friends off and pair them up with gentlemen. And it goes almost catastrophically wrong. But anyway, on the back, this one comes with a quote. It says, "I always deserve the best treatment because I never put up with any other." So this also goes well with my Jane Austen 250th birthday celebration that I'm participating in, Anne in Search of Wonder, and I think her name is Charlene, I think that's how you say her name, from Coffee and a Book is hosting, and it's not mine, but I've been participating in it. It's theirs. Anyway, they are also, this is the book that is the read for that one. Okay, I'll put it there. The next prompt for Jane Austen July is read one of Jane's minor works. Now I have Lady Susan and the Watsons, and I'll probably read Lady Susan or the Watsons, and I think there's another one in there, but I'm not sure. Or one of her Juvenalias. I don't know. I haven't decided on that one. Then it says read a nonfiction work about Jane Austen. Well, here's where my friend Jenna helped me out, because Jenna from Books Love Jenna, she had already planned that one for the Books Love Everyone book club. She had planned Jane Austen's Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney. We are reading that one. And so that just fits in really well. And this is what may have been on Jane Austen's bookshelf. And this was set up by a rare book dealer. Rebecca Romney is a rare book dealer. And she is also a devoted reader to Jane Austen. So it's not like it's just somebody who thinks they know it all. She probably studied her life while she was reading it, reading her books and such. And yes. So I'm excited to read this one next month. Learn all I can about Jane Austen. It will go very well with my DIY literature degree as well. There's another one I may or may not read, but I did put it down because I do have it and I would like to read it. If not, get started on it. It is only like 280 pages. 288 pages. And the rest are appendixes. But it is Jane Austen, A Life by Claire Tomlin. And Claire Tomlin filled in the gaps. And she's also very good. She's studied the life of Jane Austen as well. You know, when people write these books, they do have to, do a lot of digging and a lot of research. And but Jane Austen's family destroyed almost all of her writing that was not a book. So any letters or any diaries that we do not have access to, they were destroyed. So it was a lot of her letters. And so anyway, it says that on the back, it says her short-sighted family destroyed the bulk of her letters, and if she kept any diaries, they did not survive her. So, and even though her brother said that her life was not full of events, we find out differently in the book. So I'm excited. This would also help for my DIY literature degree. So, yes, very excited. But I may not get that one done this month because, yeah. Then it says, read the next prompt. Read a retelling or a work of fiction. Well, see, Jenna over at Books of Jenna and that book club she's running is just wonderful because she's got my back. She already had that one worked out too. So she's got the Jane Austen Project for our second book by Kathleen A. Flynn. Is who it's by. And it says, see, I have a hard time reading this because I think it's Michael A. Flynn. No, that is not right. Let me pull up a synopsis of this so I can read it to you. I will link Jenna down below. I will link Katie and her co-hosts. So that you can go over and join if you would like to participate. Okay. It's London, England, 1815. Two travelers. Rachel, that was not Michael, was it? Rachel Katzman and Liam Finucane, however you say that name, arrive in a field disheveled and weighed down with hidden money. They are not what they seem, but colleagues from a technologically advanced future, posing as a doctor and his spinster sister. While Rachel and Liam aren't the first team of time travelers, their mission is the most audacious yet. Meet, befriend, and steal from Jane Austen. But what they haven't anticipated was the continuous convolutions required of living a lie. As Rachel's friendship with Jane deepens and her relationship with Liam grows complicated, Rachel fights to reconcile her true self with the constrictions of 19th century society. When their portal to the future prepares to close, Rachel and Liam struggle with their directive to leave history intact and exactly as they found it, however heartbreaking that may prove. Then it says, read a book by a contemporary of Austen. Well, my contemporary is going to be Mary Shelley because she's one of my 25 and 25 books is Maurice, and I want to read Maurice, the Fisher's Cot by Mary Shelley. Now, I started this, I believe it was last year during the Mary Shelley May. Now, I will have to go back and reread it because I don't remember what it was about. But that is what I'm hoping I can read for my contemporary, is Maurice by Mary Shelley. And it's short, so I shouldn't have a problem. Now, one of the other 25 and 25 books, the other two prompts are to watch a Jane Austen movie, a direct adaptation, and the group is planning to watch, I thought I saw some out in the yard, Emma, one of the newer ones, and then watch a contemporary one, like I can't remember how it's, a modern screen retelling. Okay, Emma is the buddy group read, and 2020 Emma is the group watch. And then you have a modern retelling. Okay, so now for one of my 25 and 25, I want to read The Winter People. I have to figure out how I'm going to get it. I've purchased a lot of books this month, and a lot of them are, I've gotten a few middle grade that are coming in, and I've gotten some Christmas books. I haven't done a haul on those Christmas books. I'm waiting on the middle grade to come in, and then I want to do a haul on all of those. So I want to read The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon, and either I need to check it out of the library, go get a physical copy of it from the library, or wait for a hold to come in. But I want to read it because I've heard it's really good. So that is one of the ones I want to read this month. Now I have lots, and like I said, I'm not promising I'm going to read all these. It's just the ones that I'm feeling drawn toward, and these are the ones that I'm wanting to read. These are the ones I keep looking at to read. Some of them I can just eat them up. They go really quick. So the other one, my other 25 and 25, is Maisie Dobbs, and it was a library. I don't worry about stickers on my books. They're there. I buy most of them used. I buy a lot of them used. A lot of them are new. Maisie Dobbs. This is the start of a series. I don't get all caught up in how many series I'm reading. If it's a series, it's a series. And it says Maisie Dobbs got her start as a maid in an aristocratic London household when she was 13. Her employer, suffragette Lady Rowan Compton, soon became her patron, taking the remarkably bright youngster under her wing. Lady Rowan's friend, Maurice Blanche, often retained as an investigator by her European elite, recognized Maisie's intuitive gifts and helped her earn admission to the prestigious Girton College in Cambridge, where Maisie planned to complete her education. The outbreak of war changed everything. Maisie trained as a nurse, then left for France to serve at the front, where she found and lost an important part of herself. 10 years after armistice, in the spring of 1929, Maisie sets out on her own as a private investigator, one who has learned that coincidences are meaningful and truth elusive. Her very first case involves suspected infidelity, but reveals something different. So, I've had this on my shelf for a little bit, and I'm really wanting to start this series. Now, the next book, I don't plan to finish it in the month of July. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. Then I'll proceed into August. But I'm treating it more like a little devotional. And I'm going to start back over at the beginning. I'd gotten to page 10. Now, you think that's funny, but this is I have read the foreword and the preface and all that. But to me, this is deep reading. Even though it is only I'm getting there. 227 pages. I want to read C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity. And like I said, I may read 5 pages a day. I may read 1 page a day. But I want to go slow. And I am reading the Bible this summer all the way through with and that is, I'm doing that with Chantel Reads All Day. She's got us doing that on the Bible app. But I want to add this in, and I may start this tomorrow. I don't know. And, I may get it done in 2 weeks. Who knows? I may get so involved in this that, but I want it to be, I want to know what it's saying. I don't want to just rush through it. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. If anybody wants to read it with me, pull it out. Read it with me. You'll notice there's not a Dickens in here. I'm putting a hold on the Dickens for now. Okay. Now, my 52 books in 52 weeks. I'm going to put this one up here tentatively, Great Big Beautiful Life, because I don't have another one right now. I don't know of a good one to place in place of this prompt. The prompt is stream of consciousness narrative, climate fiction. I'm going to put the book up. I just checked out the library, but it's probably going to be read or listened to this month because I have it. And it is called How Beautiful We Were. And this is about a young woman from a small African village that starts a revolution against an American oil company. And I was going to read Once There Were Wolves, and I still may read that one because I have that one from Book of the Month. And I started it, but I'm going to read How Beautiful We Were. I'm going to listen to it because I started listening to it, you know, the sample, and it sounds so good. It starts out with, we should have known how it would end when the acid rain began to fall from the sky. And I was like, oh my goodness, you know. But Once There Were Wolves is by Charlotte McConaughey. I'll put a picture up here because I didn't bring that one in. I only had this out for the prompt. All right, for the prompt, plot includes a heist. This one may get read this month, may get read next month. A fire at the exhibition. And this is Lady Hardcastle. I have it on Audible. All right, these next ones I have out. I have them out. Okay, I know this one is in there somewhere as a prompt. The Great Gatsby. The prompt includes Latin American history. I pulled out Lucinda Riley's The Seven Sisters. This is 6 sisters who hear that their adoptive father's dying. They all meet up and they're mourning his death, and then they find out he left clues to the heritage. All right, that one's not. Okay, this one. All right, now, character's name is in the title. Prompt on 52 books in 52 weeks. The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. In the small town of Jasper, North Carolina, June Farrow is waiting for fate to find her. The Farrow women are known for their thriving flower farm and for the mysterious curse that has plagued their family line. The whole town remembers the madness that led to Susanna Farrow's disappearance, leaving her daughter June to be raised by her grandmother and haunted by rumors. Yeah, The Unmaking of June Farrow. I like that cover. It's pretty. It's pretty. It's pretty. Oh, I didn't put that in there. All right. So excited for this one. Going to continue this series. And this one has short chapters. Richard Osman's The Man Who Died Twice. And this just continues the Thursday Murder Club. And this is about elderly people who get together to solve cases. Yes, I'm excited about that one. All right, and then genre chosen by somebody else. And they chose this one. It's The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. This has been on my TBR a couple times. I plan to get it read this month because I really want to know what this is about. Looks like it could have been set in winter too, but anyway. I gave them a couple books. They chose this one. Okay, now these are just books that I pulled out to read. Let's go with the big books first. Is this a big book? I think this one might be a big book. This one's a big book. That one's considered a big book. That's not a big book. That one's not a big book. Okay. Okay, for Big Book Summer, these are my choices. I want to continue my Armand Gamache series. So the next one in the order, the next one up for me to read is The Long Way Home. And this is, I don't want to tell you. Okay, this is just Armand Gamache. He's looking for somebody who's missing. I'll just put that way. I want to read that one now. I may have to read that one now. Okay, then continue another series, and I am not reading these in order. So, Lee Child's Make Me, and I'll read the back of this one. Reacher has no particular place to go, and all the time in the world to get there. So he steps off a train in Mother's Rest, a small town hidden in 1,000 square miles of wheat fields. It's a strange place with watchful people and a worried woman named Michelle Chang, who mistakes Reacher for someone else, her missing partner in a private investigation she thinks must have turned lethal. There's something about Chang that makes Reacher want to help, so he teams up with her and starts to ask around. He thinks, how bad can this be? But before long, he's plunged into a desperate race across the country, up against thugs and assassins every step of the way, and into a nightmare he never sees coming. Walking away would have been easier, but as always, Reacher's rule is, if you want me to stop, you're going to have to make me. Y'all, I am almost out of Reacher books. I'm going to have to order some more. All right. The next one that will work for... Oh, this one has... that's a different book. 494 pages. Definitely a big book. All right. And then coming in at... Oh, that's not a big book. All right. So now we have at 464 pages, we have The Women by Kristen Hanna. Women can be heroes. When 20-year-old nursing student Frances Frankie McGrath hears these words, it is a revelation. Raised in the sun-drenched, idyllic world of Southern California and sheltered by her conservative parents, she has always prided herself on doing the right thing. But in 1965, the world is changing and she suddenly dares to imagine a different future for herself. When her brother ships out to serve in Vietnam, she joins the Army Nurse Corps and follows his path. As green and inexperienced as the men sent to Vietnam to fight, Frankie is overwhelmed by the chaos and destruction of war. Each day is a gamble of life and death, hope and betrayal. Friendships run deep and can be shattered in an instant. In war, she meets and becomes one of the lucky, the brave, the broken, and the lost. But war is just the beginning for Frankie and her veteran friends. The real battle lies in coming home to a changed and divided America, to angry protesters, and to a country that wants to forget Vietnam. So that's The Women. I also have pulled out this one. It comes in at 508 pages. The Mayor of Maxwell Street. And this is by Avery Cunningham. Isn't that cover just gorgeous? And I believe I read the when I filmed my haul, I read that. This is about a woman who gets involved with she is the premier debutante, and she works undercover as an investigative journalist, sharing the achievements and tribulations of everyday. Sorry. Tribulations of everyday black people living in the shadow of Jim Crow. And she teams up with Jay Shorey, who was born in rural Alabama to a murdered biracial couple. And he is running the swankiest speakeasy, where the rich and famous rub elbows with gangsters and politicians alike. And they're going to team up. All right, and this one I watched Sue Jackson, who hosts Big Book Summer, to watched her review this one, and I just had to have it, and I got it, and I want to read it now. Rooms for Vanishing by Steve Nadir. And I can't explain this one, so I'm just going to read it. Everyone had been survived into different futures, and I would never see any of them again. I could sense this. I would hear them in their separate rooms, within their separate lives, but I would not be able to cross over to meet them. In Rooms for Vanishing, the violence of war has fractured the universe for the Altermans, a Jewish family from Vienna. Moving across decades and across the world, the novel finds the Altermans alone in their separate futures, haunted by the loss of their loved ones, each certain that they are the family's sole survivor. Sonia, the daughter, has gone in search of her husband, who has disappeared into London. Fania, the mother, is confronted with her doppelganger in the basement of a Montreal hotel. Moses, the son, is followed by the ghost of his best friend. And finally, Arnold, the father, dares to believe that his long-lost daughter might be alive after he receives a message from an Englishwoman claiming to be her. Rooms for Vanishing. All right, and these are just some ones that I really want to read. First of all, Julie Clark, the ghost writer. June 1975. The Taylor family shatters in a single night when two teenage siblings are found dead in their own home. The only surviving sibling, Vincent, never shakes the whispers and accusations that he was the one who killed them. Decades later, the legend only grows as his career as a horror writer skyrockets. Ghostwriter Olivia Dumont has spent her entire professional life hiding the fact that she is the only child of Vincent Taylor. Now on the brink of financial ruin, she's offered a job to ghostwrite her father's last book. What she doesn't know, though, is that this project is another one of his lies, because it's not another horror novel he wants to write. After 50 years of silence, Vincent Taylor is finally ready to talk about what really happened that night in 1975. Okay, and then just some fun little reads. So, Jamie Jo writes The Vanishing at Castle Moreau. And in 1870, orphan Daisy Francois takes a position as housemaid at a Wisconsin castle to escape the horrors of her past life. There she finds a reclusive and eccentric Gothic authoress who hides tales more harrowing than the ones in her novels. As women disappear from the area and the eerie circumstances seem to parallel a local legend, Daisy is thrust into a web that could ultimately steal her sanity, if not her life. In the present day, Cleo Clemens is hired by the grandson of an American aristocratic family to help his grandmother face her hoarding in the dilapidated Castle Moreau. But when Cleo uncovers more than just... Oh, sorry. I lost my place. Than just the woman's stash of collectibles, a century-old mystery, and the dust of the old castle's curse threaten to rise again. This time to leave no one alive to tell the sordid tale. And then I found this middle grade book that's like huge font. But it's Ava and Carol Detective Agency's books 1 through 3. If you enjoy Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, and the Boxcar Children, I've only ever read the Boxcar Children. I think I might have read a Hardy Boys. You'll love the Ava and Carol Detective Agency. So I might try that, if I want something quick. All right, and then I have Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham. Lucy Sharp is larger than life, magnetic and addictive, bold and dangerous, especially for Margot, who meets Lucy at the end of their freshman year at a liberal arts college in South Carolina. Margot is the shy one, the careful one, always the sidekick and never the center of attention. But when Lucy singles her out at the end of the year, a year Margot spent studying and playing it safe, and asks her to room together, something in Margot can't say no. Something daring or starved or maybe even envious. And so Margot finds herself living in an off-campus house with 3 other girls. Lucy the ringleader, Sloane the sarcastic one, and Nicole the nice one. The 3 of them opposites but also deeply intertwined. It's a year that finds Margot finally coming out of the shell that she's been in since the end of high school, when her best friend Eliza died 3 weeks after graduation. Margot and Lucy have become the closest of friends, but by the middle of their sophomore year, one of the fraternity boys from the house next door has been brutally murdered, and Lucy is missing without a trace. Okay, another series that I really need to get caught up on is one that Chantel Reads All Day is having this year, and it's the Ellen Montgomery series. Now, I have the book Castle, which is what they're supposed to be reading, which is what we're supposed to be reading in June. I have it up there on my shelf, but I still need to read 3, 4, and 5 of the Anne of Green Gables series to catch up. So I have Anne of the Island, and I'm putting it on the, whether it gets read or not. And then I have been looking at these 2 books on my shelf in my bedroom every night. Every time I go in there and I'm reading, I'm like, there sit them 2 books and I want to read them so bad. There sit them every day, and I want to read them so bad. All right. This one is Antonia Fraser, The Case of the Married Woman. And this was another Books Love Jenna book that I heard about it from her. I hear about a lot of these books from her. And it says, Carolyn Norton dazzled 19th century society with her vivacity, her intelligence, her poetry, and in her role as an artist's muse. After her marriage in 1827 to the MP George Norton, I don't know what MP means, she continued to attract friends and admirers to her salon in Westminster, which included the young Benjamin Disraeli. Most prominent among her admirers was the widowed Prime Minister Lord Melbourne. Racked with jealousy, George Norton took the Prime Minister to court, suing him for damages on account of his criminal conversation with Carolyn. A dramatic trial followed. Despite the unexpected and sensational result, acquittal, Norton was still able to legally deny Carolyn access to her 3 children, all under the age of 7. He also claimed her income as an author for himself, since the copyrights of a married woman belonged to her husband. Yet Carolyn refused to despair. Beset by the personal cruelties perpetrated by her husband and a society whose rules were set against her, she chose to fight, not surrender. She channeled her energies in an area of much-needed reform, the rights of a married woman, and specifically those of a mother. She championed tirelessly for years, achieving her first landmark victory with the Infant Custody Act of 1839. So I really want to read that. And then I want to read this one also by Antonia Fraser, Lady Carolyn Lamb. And it says, from the outset, Carolyn Lamb had a rebellious nature. From childhood, she grew increasingly troublesome, experimenting with sedatives like laudanum, and she had a special governess to control her. She also had a merciless wit and talent for mimicry. She spoke French and German fluently, knew Greek and Latin, and sketched impressive portraits. As the niece of Georgiana, Duchess of Devonshire, she was already well connected, and her courtly skills resulted in her marriage to the Honorable William Lamb, later Lord Melbourne, at the age of 19. For a few years, they enjoyed a happy marriage, despite Melbourne's siblings and mother-in-law detesting her and referring to her as the little beast. In 1812, Carolyn embarked on a well-publicized affair with the poet Lord Byron. He was 24, she was 26. Her phrase, mad, bad, and dangerous to know, became his lasting epitaph. When he broke things off, Carolyn made increasingly public attempts to reunite. Her obsession came to define much of her later life, as well as influencing her own writing, most notably the Gothic novel Glenarvan and Byron's. That is my, I don't know if I'll read it, but pile of possibilities for the month of July and possibly June. So who knows? I hope to vlog all of these, and we'll see. Maybe I'll be pulling some more off the shelf. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.